Okay, so I want to tell a little story about this guy I was in the army with named Swanson. Greg Swanson. And for those of you who haven't heard my story about Ross, the soap surgeon, just like Ross, Swanson was from California, hardcore California. Like he had the California surfer accent. He was from LA. And he never hesitated to let anyone know it.
My name is Swanson, bro. Greg Swanson. I'm from LA, dude. It's like the greatest place in the world.
And like, yes, we know Swanson. You told us like 10 times today already how great LA is. And yeah, always. And he was my first roommate at Fort Drum. We were roommates for about 8 or 9 months in the barracks. And he was a good roommate overall. I mean, he could be kind of a dick sometimes, but he was usually nice to me. He was like courteous and respectful. If I wanted to go to sleep, he'd turn off the lights, he'd turn off the music, he'd let me go to sleep, kick the other people out of the room. But he didn't like me as much as I liked him. In fact, sometimes he kind of hated me because while I was never really a dirty or messy person, I never failed a room inspection in the army. When we'd have morning parade and the chain of command would come through your room in the morning to see if it was clean, I always passed. But it was never clean enough for Swanson because I like to cook in my room, especially pasta, just like now. And I would drop little pieces of pasta on the floor and not realize it. And he would see this and like flip his shit. Like,
bro, you dropping like food on the floor, bro? There's like noodles everywhere. There's like noodle over here and a noodle over there. And oh my god, there's another noodle there. Like, why are you so messy? When I had an apartment, bro, I made it so clean that I'd vacuum lines into my carpet.
It's like, that's great, Swanson. Thank you. I'm sorry I could never be as perfectly clean as you. My bad. And finally, after the 8 or 9 months, he got his own room and moved out. And he basically celebrated when he was leaving.
Like, yeah, I got my own room, bro. Yeah, I got my own room. I don't have to be with Levy anymore and his noodles.
And he was just happy as fuck. Like it was the happiest day of his life. And this guy had more tattoos than any human being I ever met and knew personally, at least. Like I'd seen these most tattooed men on TV, but I never thought I'd actually know anyone like this because I never grew up around tattoos. I didn't live in that culture. I come from a fucking left-wing, American Jewish family. We don't do tats. It's not something we do. My parents were really, really against them. They sure as hell never had any. Or would let me or my brother get them. They didn't even let us play with those fake tattoos, like the stickers you put on your arm, because they didn't want to encourage us to get them when we were older. I guess it worked, because I still don't have any. And I'm not into them at all. But this guy, his whole fucking body, his whole chest, his whole back, both of his legs, his arms, he had a sleeve on both arms, everything but his neck and his face pretty much. And I'm assuming his dick didn't have had a tattoo on it. And he was really proud of his tattoos. And you know what a lot of normal people would think is, God, what does his mother think about something like this? She must be like horrified. And then he showed me a Facebook picture of his mom, well, MySpace back then. And his mom had almost as many tats as he did. Like, oh, ow, that's where it comes from. Never mind. And I'll never forget this one night where me and him and some other people went out to this club by Fort Drum. And this was around Halloween 2007. And DJ gets up and he goes, okay, we're having a competition to give away some free tickets to our Halloween bash this Halloween in a few days. And the competition is whichever person in this club tonight has the most square footage of tattoos on their body wins the tickets. And Swanson simply, confidently struts up to the DJ booth, pulls his shirt up, does a little, turnaround so that, DJ could see the front and the back. And then the DJ, while practically dropping his microphone on the floor, goes, "Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner." And no one else even thought about challenging. Everyone was like, "What the fuck? Yeah, I ain't gonna win those tickets, bro. Never mind." You win, guy. And the DJ's looking at his tats and checking them out. And then at one point he goes, "Bro, is that a fucking comic strip on your back? You have a whole comic strip?"
It's like, "Yeah, bro. It's like Superman, bro. Comic strip."
And we're like, "Oh my God." And I'm assuming he hasn't gotten any more these days, because he doesn't have any more room to put anymore. His whole fucking body, like I said. And oh man, and unlike a lot of the people in my stories that were shitbags, he was the exact opposite. He was very, very high speed. One of these guys he's just good at everything, whether it's sports, music, the army. Everything just comes easy. Life comes easy to people like Swanson. And he would have made sergeant in the minimum 2 years flat, E5, if he didn't do dumb shit, fuck up and lose his rank. And we had this guy named Barledge, Justin Barledge, who was one of the most high-speed human beings I ever met. Again, some people, everything in life comes easy. And that was Barledge. Barledge was just so much better than everybody else, pretty much. Anything that had to do with the army, he just learned it in 2 seconds. He didn't even have to think. He didn't have to try. We all know that guy. And yeah, he got sent to a civilian sniper school in Texas as a reward for being a really good shot, shooting expert every time. And he managed to shoot a sniper rifle and hit a 1,400-yard target on one of his first tries at the shooting range there. And wow. And there was actually a certain point where people in the battery were debating whether it would be Swanson or Barledge to be the first to E5. I know it seems crazy looking back, but yeah, Swanson was that high speed. And he gets this ridiculous DUI where he was apparently trying to go outside this club in a car and make out with some chick, and he wanted to move the car down the street to get more privacy. And you know how cops like to sit on clubs? Well, they were sitting, and as soon as he moved the car, they pulled him over and arrested his ass. And it ended up taking 4.5 years to get his rank. Finally, he got it, but yeah, he kind of got left back a little bit. But he was a good guy, like I said, but he also happened to be cocky and arrogant as fuck. And he thought he was the greatest thing since Jesus. It was pretty obvious. And everybody knew it, and people kind of made fun of him for it. This one time, I mean, the guy was basically a narcissist, right? This one time we were chilling in the battery classroom waiting for something, and this guy named Bert, Brandon Faber, Bert for short, he's this guy from Worcester, Massachusetts, and he's one of the funniest people you're ever going to meet. Everybody loved Bert. He just made us laugh all day. And Bert starts making fun of Swanson and telling him how great he is, how he's the greatest guy in the world, the greatest man who ever lived, and Swanson, you're amazing. Wow, I could never be like Greg Swanson. When I grow up, I want to be like Greg. And Swanson's self-depreciating guy. He can laugh at himself, make fun of himself. So he's kind of laughing along with it. And then everyone starts joining in. And he just kept going on and on and on. Every little thing Swanson would do, people would clap and cheer. He would pull his phone out of his pocket and look at it. And people would go, "Oh my God! Wow, look at him! Look at him! Look at his phone, guys! Oh my God! Wow, I could never look at a phone like you, Swanson! You're incredible!" And then finally, he's got some potato chips and dip with him. And he takes some chips and starts dipping them in this salsa or whatever. And then Bert starts going, "Whoa! Look at him dip that chip! Whoa, he's incredible!" And the whole room breaks out into like cheers. Like we're all just cheering like as loud as we can. Like it's the greatest thing we've ever seen. Like you're the greatest dipper ever. Holy shit. I could never do that. Whoa, Swanson. You're like God. And we're all just laughing again, including Swanson. And yeah, it was great. And you know, he taught me all this like California slang that I'd never heard of because they only use it there, like jabroni. It means like bro or dude or whatever. And he'd be always say this jabroni shit like,
Bro, my name's Swanson, bro. I'm like the craziest jabroni in the world, dude.
"What the fuck's a jabroni? Like, what are you talking about, Swanson?" And just shit like that. But yeah, always high speed. And the last time I heard, he's been out of the army for a while, and he just got his master's degree in business administration, living back in L.A. I'm sure he's gonna finally become a millionaire and make a shitload of money. Yeah, it's just I never met anyone like this guy, and I probably never will. I don't think Hollywood could make up Greg Swanson. They'd have to make him up. Yeah, like so that's the story of Swanson, the great Greg Swanson. What a guy. What a fucking guy.